Okay, this is the discussion on possible action based on proceeding workshop regarding the draft master plan, Bowen and Collins. And make a long story short here, what we're doing is we're seeking approval of the, or accepting of the exception of the plan, right? Doesn't say that, but that's...
Except the master plan is drafted, direct, but changes be made.
Do you want to go through that again, Mike?
I prefer not.
It's great though.
I missed some points there.
You can submit those questions in writing.
Okay, so we're accepting the plan as, you made a motion to accept the plan as drafted?
No, I haven't yet. I do have a couple comments.
Oh, okay.
To go along with it, move forward. You first, okay. I'd just like to commend Mike for a great job on the master plan. I think he did a great job there.
Ditto. That's a good job.
However, I think that we need to make sure that we put in our motion that I would like to see it reviewed every 5 years. Unless we have a boom population, then it'd be reviewed before the 5-year mark.
Isn't that state statute?
I think state statute is 4 to 5. So that we have it on record that it's going to be reviewed. Okay. And the only other comment I made as I read through it again today is that I think staff has their work cut out for them as far as finding funding sources and priority of those projects to keep us in line of that master plan. Plan's only good as for the paper that's written on it if nothing ever takes place on it. I think we need to make sure that we get those priorities in line and start working towards it tomorrow, not 2 years down the road where we're behind the 8 ball.
I agree wholeheartedly with what Kenyon said, and I also agree that the master plan's been put together. My only concern and what I'd like to have on record is the fact that I don't think in 2014 they're going to be capable of drilling 2 wells as called out in the master plan, unless we do find alternative sources of funding. And you talked in the meeting, in the workshop, about picking the fruit off the bottom branches. And we better start finding some of that fruit, I believe, so that's my comment.
I think if anything that needs to be changed would be to maybe add those in, and you had made that comment at the end of the presentation that you hadn't made those changes. And I don't know if it needs to be put in the master plan. We understand that, that as long as we meet that requirement of the additional 2,000 gallons per minute, however we do it, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, cheaper is definitely better. And if we can use the existing wells and the wells that are not being used right now, that only makes economical sense.
Exactly. 2 years from now, I don't want somebody saying, "Oh, we better start work on these wells because that's what our master plan calls for." Because that's
okay. Well, we'll add to your. Go ahead, Mr.
I've got a question. Do we need to add to this Ken Rock's suggestion, like as far as their administration building? Do we need to put that in?
It can all be added. Yeah.
Pardon?
All of those comments can be added, yeah.
Do you think we should, or I mean, they're going to go hand in hand?
Typically, a master plan will deal with the distribution and the purveying of water.
Okay.
Mainly administrative costs and those other types of things. I don't know if that comes out of impact fees or what.
I'm just asking that question.
I typically what I've seen is we don't address administrative,
okay,
like a new building and those types. It's just strictly with the production and distribution of the water.
Okay,
but
so you're all.
Maybe we could buy Overton Power's mesquite office. They don't think we're using it.
So you just want all of it, so that it has to be reviewed every 5 years.
Yeah,
I think that's a good idea. We have a second.
I'll make a formal motion to that we accept the master plan as presented. Ken, did you have a comment before I make this?
If I may, is that there were a few things I would say as presented with some comments incorporated that the board and the staff have made that are appropriate to the master plan. And Mike might be able to revise some of the costs based on some of that. And the next agenda item talks about workshops and things for us to work on details.
You know, I'm not too concerned about revising the cost down, because I think that, let's leave them right where they are, because you've got a 20% build in there anyway, that's why they're a little bit high. We start taking them all down, and next thing you know, we're not prepared when it turns, you know, when the time comes, so. I think it'd be prudent just to leave those where they are, and you know, we're obviously, whenever we do any of these projects, we're gonna be looking for the best price we can.
Well, I think with the master plan too, it doesn't really, with the cost there, I mean, that's just kind of a rough guesstimate right now.
You know,
I mean,
inflation, who knows, I mean, it could be.
When we get down to it, we may be drilling for, you know, we could only pray, you know, 1.5 million instead of 3 million, but, you know.
Yeah, if I might comment, the detail that we're looking for will happen in budget sessions and in capital improvement detailed planning sessions, and that's where the detail that everybody's really interested in is gonna come out, and that'll come by staff putting together. Once we've got our priorities lined out, which will come as we meet and talk about those, then we can drill down and get the nitty-gritty detail for this year and over the next 5 years. And frankly, any forecasting of costs that we wanna hang our hat on in terms of a detailed number beyond 5 years doesn't make a lot of sense, and the state doesn't require us in terms of a capital improvement plan to go beyond that, because they recognize that it's pie in the sky.
Well, depending on how the economy is, I mean, when the boom was going on, you couldn't have 30 days was your max on prices. You know, everything changed within 30 days, so either you did the project in 30 days, or, you know, it was up in the air of what the cost was gonna be. So with that being said, I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got your motion.
All right.
Do we have a second? Oh, you
I
haven't made the
it
motion
yet.
yet?
I haven't
Oh,
made it
okay.
yet. I'll make a motion that we accept the master plan as presented by Mike this evening. And that we put in there that it's reviewed every 5 years unless we have a boom, then when as needed within that 5-year period.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, have a motion, a second, all in favor? 5 in favor, none opposed, the motion carries, so.